Always a great time having my next guest on the show. It is the Butcher, Bryan Battle, fresh off his round one TKO victory over Derek DeFrites at DBX3. Bryan, nice to talk to you as always, my man. I first just want to start with this fight with DeFrites. An old colleague of mine, I saw there's a lot of people commenting when the fight was originally made. And one of the things that he said that kind of stuck out to me, I had to laugh. He said that this fight was like a public execution, just based on like the huge mismatch that it was going into the fight. Is that something that you thought? Like, did you feel this would have been a competitive match, or did you know going into it that, hey, this is me all day. I'm here to show out.
Well, there's two things. I approach every fight the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. I'm going in there to whoop ass and handle business. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, you can't ever overlook anyone, no matter what their record looks like, no matter what they look like. Because that's how you fucking lose. Um, so I always plan on my fights being public executions. You know what I'm saying? No matter who the opponent is. And I never overlook my opponent, no matter who the opponent is.
What was your thoughts just on the outcome, how the fight played out? You looked fantastic, as a lot of people thought you would.
Yeah, man, ready for the next one. The fight was the fight, and now that's over. Ready to move on. Keep on going.
Thoughts just on the promotion. Obviously, this was your first time competing for them. What was it like? What was the venue, the fans, just the whole experience like?
Yeah, man, DBX was awesome. The way they have their company structured is really modeled um, after how the UFC does things, so it's really familiar. You know what I mean? Uh, the whole staff was great. I was treated very well. The venue was fun. It was a smaller venue, but you could feel the energy in there, and the production was top notch. So I had a good time. Maybe we'll run it back again. We'll see.
A lot of high level fighters on the card too. Did it kind of feel similar to like a UFC event in some ways, just because of the competition that was on the card competing with you that same night?
I'd say the week felt similar-ish. The night didn't feel similar. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like I said, the venue and all the things. But with that being said, it was really cool. You know what I'm saying? Be able to chop it up with people like Hector Lombard. You know what I'm saying? Being able to chop it up with like Rosenstruck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the people that are lesser known. You know what I mean? It was a refreshing experience, you know what I'm saying? We were in Miami, you know what I'm saying? So the weather was nice, the people were cool, it was a hell of a vibe, brother.
So you're definitely open to going back and fighting for DBX again.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Obviously, Bryan, you've been through a lot last few weeks. You're extremely popular. You got a ton of fans out there. You also got a few haters, people that are throwing shade your way. How are you dealing with all that?
Man, that I consider if anyone takes the time out of their day to say something about me, I consider them a fan. You know what I mean? Whether they're happy fans or disgruntled fans, they're still fans, and I appreciate them regardless. Um, and it's hard to get too caught up on like what's happening over the screen when I got a lot of stuff happening right in front of me in real life. So uh all of them, just keep on watch the journey. You know what I'm saying? We're far from finished. So to all of them, hopefully we can keep them entertained, keep them preoccupied. In the meantime, I'll deal with what's in front of me day to day. You know what I'm saying? Not just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, brother.
I've been fortunate enough to interview you for quite some time now, and obviously, as I mentioned, your popularity just keeps growing and growing. Can you just kind of tell me, like, is there something wild as like a DM or something that a fan has said to you via social media or in person that kind of took you by surprise?
Probably. I mean, honestly, it wasn't. There's been some wild DMs before, but the biggest thing that took me by surprise was after the whole debacle at the UFC fight. When I get on social media and I see a clip of me out, I was like, oh shit. That's probably the biggest thing that caught me by surprise. But just people are watching, you know what I'm saying? Being aware of people watching and everything like that. Um, you know, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, but there's a responsibility to it too, you know what I'm saying? A mindfulness to it too. So just having to keep that in my mind is something I'm still getting used to.
When you say you were caught by surprise, people seeing you out, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like out having fun?
Oh yeah. I'm used to people not caring about what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to, and now I kind of got like this. I kind of got like a little bit of a reputation for in the ring, but then also outside the ring, which is kind of hilarious. You know what I'm saying? I'm not denying anything, but nah, man. Yeah, man. Life happens fast, brother. You know what I mean? So. You just gotta like stay on your P's and Q's and just keep on watching who's around you and who's got their phone out, you know what I mean? And regardless of like what's actually happened, you have to be aware of how things can be perceived, because
Yeah.
perception is reality. You know what I'm saying? Whether what was happening or what happened wasn't happening, the way people perceive it is the way that it's going to be taken.
And it's got to be tough being in the public eye, right? Like, especially during today's day and age with, everyone can be a reporter. Everyone has a camera on their phone. They can video you. You have no idea, like you just said. Is that how challenging is that to just always be cognizant of that when you do go out to make sure that you are behaving the way you want to like represent yourself?
Yeah, man, it's just almost like just like don't be outside, period. You know what I'm saying? Just do everything in the privacy, you know what I'm saying, with people you trust and whatnot. And then it's like figuring out who you can trust. That's like a whole nother thing. So um yeah, man, it's interesting, but it's that's a good problem to have, you know what I'm saying? That's a to have that as a problem is a blessing. So um just figure out how to navigate it and then navigate that shit. You know what I mean?
So the video that I saw was basically you saying that no one parties harder than the butcher for like a UFC fighter. Let me ask you, Brian, do you think that you have like a partying problem? You don't party too much, or is nothing
No,
like
no,
that?
no, 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 no. I don't have a partying problem, but when I do party, I party hard. But no, I don't party like literally. I just been chilling since I got back. You know what I mean? Like literally just going to the gym and going home, going to the gym, going home. It's if I do party, you know what I'm saying I'm gonna out party everyone, but nah, I don't have a partying problem, brother. Not at all. You know what I mean? Like it's like a funny thing. Like I'll lean into it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. But you know, I know once again, there's perception and there's reality. You know what I'm saying? I know the perception, and I can play with that. But at the same time, I also know the reality. You know what I'm saying? And I got people around me like watching me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got kids and shit. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm home a lot, Like I gotta go do a couple things after this call, and I gotta go pick up my kids from daycare and then go to training later and then come back home and you know what I'm saying, be here when they wake up, you know what I mean? So um yeah, no, it's definitely not an issue. But it's a funny little joke, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep on making the fucking joke.
So this obviously had nothing to do with you missing weight, and I know you said it's tactical errors. That was the
No,
reasons why you.
yeah, like that's like one of those weird things. It's like, it's I was the whole week. I don't fight week. I don't even leave the fighter hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like fight week, I never like when I went to Paris. People were like, "How's Paris?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I've been in the hotel all week." You know what I'm saying? How's Chicago? I don't know. I've been in the hotel all week, and people are like, "Oh, he was out doing stuff before the fight. I was not out doing anything before the fight. You know what I mean? Like I was in my hotel room. I would leave my hotel room, work out, go back to my hotel room. You know, um, And it was only until after the fight was canceled. You know what I mean? And the fight was canceled, and then I was depressed in my hotel room, and I was like, okay, well, let me go from one hotel to the next hotel. Made one stop on the way there. It's like that wasn't even. I wasn't even in the mood to really be like doing stuff like that one night. I just wanted to forget things for a little bit. But once again, you got to keep an eye on who's around you and what people are doing and whatnot. So, but yeah, man, we're just chilling, brother.
Can you elaborate on what those tactical errors were that, caused you to miss weight?
Basically, if like I would have started, really, really, really cutting the water like a day earlier, like it would have been easy peasy. You know what I mean? Like now I was trying to do the whole number where you get on weight as close to weigh-ins as possible so that you can rehydrate better afterwards. And like now I'm just gonna get on weight the day before, you know what I'm saying? Just make it easy. That way if things do go bad, I have more time to make adjustments and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's really ironic. It's nothing really that serious. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's the ironic part about it. There's nothing really like that dramatic or serious, but the consequences were very dramatic
Yeah,
and serious. So, just all right, won't happen again, but I'll deal with it. You know, we're gonna keep on fighting, keep on winning, keep on whooping ass. We'll get back. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything that I doubt. You feel me?
gotcha, gotcha. So moving forward, are you gonna cut all the way back down to 170, or are you gonna stay at middleweight?
While I'm staying active and busy, I'll stay at middleweight, but eventually, when I get back to the UFC, I would like to go to welterweight,
Mhm.
finish my business there, then maybe go back up to middleweight, finish my business there. You know what I mean?
For sure. Can I ask, what do you weigh today? Like, what do you weigh right now?
I don't know. If I had to guess, probably about like 207.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, welterweight, that's what a lot of guys kind of walk around at, right? When they're outside of camp, they're usually cutting 25, 30 pounds or so.
Nah, I mean, I walk around generally 200 to 205, and then with the fight camp, I'll get down to like 190, and then fight week, go from 190 to 170. That's generally like how things work at welterweight. So, you know, you know, we'll figure it out.
Well, I have no doubt, my man. You're
Yeah.
clearly you're someone that is one of the best in the game. You'll be back in the UFC at some point. I have no doubt. Let me ask you this though: were you surprised that you were cut from the UFC? I know a lot of people were. Some people weren't. They thought, two weight misses. Maybe you need to go tighten that up and then come back. But like, how devastating was that mentally for you when you did get the news that you were cut?
Um, you know, it's life, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes bad things happen in life, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's your own fault, you know. So it's hard to be devastated when you could have taken actions to avoid it everything, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and feel sorry for myself for things that I could have done under my own volition and power, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, you know, it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? Like, I would have preferred for it not to have happened, but to be devastated and sad is like, okay, now just like fix your shit, you know what I'm saying? Like pull yourself up, you know what I'm saying? Get moving, you know what I mean? Like I said, I got kids. Ain't a whole lot of time to be like devastated and sad when you got kids. You just kind of got to figure it out, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Did you speak to Dana or Sean or Hunter or anybody? Like, I'm sure your manager did, Jason House. Like, what kind of feedback did you get? Like, what did they say that was relayed to you?
Um, I didn't get much feedback. I didn't get much feedback. My agent, he basically, like let me know that I got released. You know what I'm saying? We talked about a couple things and once again it was like there's things that I wasn't even thinking about that were involved with getting released. So, now I know. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm aware of those things, you know what I'm saying? So It's a little bit more nuanced than I think people think it is. And I'm not like trying to get into all of that, you know what I mean? But, you know, once again, all I can do is go out here, win fights, make weight, and then continue on with my career.
So are you saying that there were other issues other than the weight miss that caused you to be cut?
Well, I think the weight miss is like the root of all the
Mhm.
problems. You know what I'm saying? So that's is really the weight miss. You know what I'm saying? But it was like small things around it. You know.
How many fights, Brian, do you think you're going to have to go out and win to get back into the UFC? Like, that's kind of tough to tell, right? Like when you look at where you are right now, that you've only had one fight, since being cut, and now you're still, gotta, I guess, prove yourself to get back in there. Like, do you have any idea as to like what you need to accomplish to get that call back?
Based on what's happening right now and negotiations and contracts that are happening right now, I could see myself back there or in a position to be back there by 2027.
Okay, yeah. So you have to wait over a year before you get that call. When you look at the promotions that are out there, obviously PFL comes to mind. Like, do you feel like that's the logical choice to go and sign a contract with them, or do you have other ideas in mind?
Well, I'll let Jason and them handle that. They're pretty smart at figuring those things out and putting their people in the best position to, shine and do the best with their career. So, you know, as far as worrying about stuff like that, worrying about who I'll fight for, worrying about what promotion, worrying about where, all that stuff, I'll let the people who do that stuff worry about that stuff. Me, I'm just gonna show up, train, make sure I'm right, make sure I'm sharp. That way, when I do get the call for whoever I get the call for, I'll be ready to whoop ass.
When you look at the other promotions that are out there though, and just the fighters that are at 185 or at 170, I mean, obviously you must feel pretty good about how you would stack up against potential opponents, right? Like who do you feel like has the best uh stable of talent for you to really show that you deserve to get back into the UFC?
Probably PFL. I think that's the easy answer, right? You know what I mean? PFL has uh, some of the, especially since Bellator's gone, you know what I'm saying? PFL, I feel like it's got to be the best, you know what I mean? Especially one's been struggling. People know about Risen, but don't really, we know Risen is a promotion, you know what I'm saying? I don't know a whole lot. I would love to fight over there. That'd be a blast, but I don't know a whole lot about their middleweights or
Yeah.
any of their fighters for real, for real. So, um, yeah, man, but I think the biggest thing is to just stack bodies. You know what I mean? Like people forget about other people's names. You know what I'm saying? They just see the record. They forget about the performances. They just see the record. So biggest thing is to just stack bodies, make weight, and the chips will fall where they're supposed to.
One last question just about this whole topic here. When you look at someone like Kyle Dawkins, guy that fought in the UFC, had some success, he gets cut. He doesn't get the call back for years. I think it was almost 3 years that he had to wait before he got that call. And now he's back in. He had that huge win over Michelle Pereira. Is that is that kind of discouraging to see someone like him who's, a high level fighter have to wait that long? Like, is that something that, I mean, obviously it's out of your control. You just got to go win, like you said, and stack bodies. But do you think about that kind of stuff about seeing your peers have to wait so long before they finally get that call?
Nah, because I'm gonna get paid regardless. You feel me? You know what I mean? No matter where I fight, like, um, me and him, we got cut for different reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really good. You know what I mean? I'm really good. I'm really had a whole lot of success, and people know I'm one of the best. So, um, and it's one of those things. It's like I never got the opportunity to fight in the UFC again. It'd be unfortunate, but um, it's not something that. is gonna be the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I love to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out here and fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out there and show that I'm the best at what I do to the best of my ability. And if they're mad at me, and I understand it, they don't want to deal with me. It'd be sad, but life goes on, brother. You know what I'm saying? The sun comes up, the sun goes down. You just have to keep on going. You have to keep on living life, brother. So, no, no, I'm not discouraged by anything.
And how old are you now?
Being discouraged is unproductive.
For sure. And you're still a young guy. How old are you now?
30, but I'll be 31 this month.
Okay. Happy early birthday.
Thank you,
Still
brother.
not even in your prime yet. I also just wanted to ask you, I did see a video of you talking with Ruzi Boyev after the fight was canceled. What was he saying? It looked like the conversation was good in some regard, like he was showing like respect to you. Just curious what that dialogue was like.
No, I went over. I apologized. He was like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." They don't speak English very well, so it wasn't much of a dialogue. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me to like apologize to Uzbekistan. I was like, I'm not apologize. I'll apologize to you. I ain't apologizing to Uzbekistan. You know what I'm saying? They can go fuck off. You know what I'm saying? But um, you know, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I went up there and apologized. Like as a man, how you should. But yeah, they were talking about, I was like, yeah, I'd love to fight again, so they were talking about maybe fighting in Abu Dhabi. Obviously that's not gonna happen. But nah, he was a sweetheart.
All right. Well, one question I did have, if you were able to talk to Dana White, like if you ran into Dana White tomorrow, what would be your message to him? What would you want him to know about your mindset, where you're at right now, and what your goals are moving forward to prove to him in the UFC?
My message to him. See, the thing is I'm not a big talker, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm popular for talking. I'd rather just show. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the biggest. That's probably like, Mr. Dana, I'm sorry for letting you down. I'm sorry for letting the organization down. And just I'll show you how I feel with my actions and how I conduct myself from this point forward.
I love it. I love it. When would be the ideal time frame for you to jump back in? Do you want to get back in as soon as possible?
As soon as possible, brother. You know what I'm saying? This is the last fight. Didn't take any damage. You know what I'm saying? Got more banged up in my camp for Rosabov. You know what I mean? And now, yeah, now it's like, yo, let's stay active. Let's stay busy. Let's get after it. You know what I mean? So Um, I'd be down to fight later this month. You know what I'm saying? It's probably looking more like October though. So we'll see. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? If I could run up a couple fights by the end of the year. That's the one positive thing about being a free agent is, there's fights in the UFC I had end in under a minute and then I'd be on the shelf for like 5 or 6 months. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Where, now it's like I have the ability to be a lot more active and, just get to compete.
What did you think was going to happen in that Ruzi Boyev fight? I didn't get a chance to interview you prior to, but like, what would your prediction have been if that fight did come to fruition?
I would have won. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say nothing about a fight that fell through on, fight that fell through and we're not under the same banner anymore, so I'm not gonna like talk and, say all this shit, but I would have won.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I can't wait to see you back in there, Brian. I can't wait to see you fight regardless, but I do want to see you back in the UFC sooner rather than later. Let me get a couple of fight picks from you, then we'll get you out of here today. I want to get your thoughts on JDM and Islam. The welterweight title goes down. I think it's in November when that fight happens. What's your prediction for that fight? What do you think is going to happen come, I think it's no, what is it, November 8th?
I think JDM gets it done. I think
Really?
JDM gets yeah, yeah, I think JDM gets it done. He's bigger, he hits really hard. He's been doing I think Islam's a better grappler than Bilal, but Bilal's a pretty fucking good grappler. So, seeing how JDM performed against Bilal, Islam's moving up. I think things favor JDM.
Okay. Well, that would be interesting if Islam gets handed a loss and JDM retains the title. Also, wanted to get your thoughts on Hamzat, what he did to DDP, and is he someone that you feel like is going to be a long time champion at middleweight?
I don't know if Hamza wants to be a long-time champion at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, he did what he came to do, and he's made a lot of money. You know what I mean? He almost retired before. You know, he could be if he wanted to, but we'll see. I mean, that's up to him. We'll see how long he wants to carry that weight. You know what I'm saying? How long he wants to have the crown on his head, type shit.
Were you surprised what he did to DDP? I mean, I think a lot of people didn't think he would look as dominant as he did.
The fact that he did it over the course of 5 rounds did surprise me. I thought he would fade, and I thought DDP would like eventually start mounting some offense at a certain point, but for him to have, I think he was like listening to people. You know what I'm saying? He had taken notes from his past fights that had gone the distance, and he made the adjustments, and he went out there and executed a beautiful game plan.
You sure did, my man. Well, Brian, always great to talk to you. Can't wait to see you back whenever that is. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later. Before we do sign off, if you just have anything you want to plug or anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours, buddy.
Shout out Jason House, Iridium. Shout out my family, my mom, my sisters, my dad. Shout out Dirty Boxing. You know what I'm saying? That was a great event. Um, and yeah, man, no, thank you. Thank you for having me, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's always good talking to you.